Hello.
You might notice we look a little bit different.
Short hair and I've got eyebrows.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The reason why I've got my hair cut, actually I want to talk about with you guys today. And it's something that is a problem for me, but I thought it'd be good to share because it's always good to share things.
And other people suffer from
Yes,
it a lot
exactly.
as well. Is it very common? Do you know how common it is?
I don't know how common it is, but I know that there's definitely a lot of people that suffer from trichotillomania, which is where people feel the urge to pull out their hair. And I've had this since I was 15 years old. It started for me with my eyelashes. When I was 15, I used to pull out all my eyelashes, so I wouldn't have any, which actually right now I don't have many eyelashes because I've started doing that again.
Oh, I can't notice it.
And then for me, from the age of 15, it got progressively worse. For me, it's not as bad as it's been like in the past for me right now, but I could feel it sort of starting to happen more, and I felt like I was pulling my hair quite a lot at the moment. So I decided to be quite drastic about it and chop off all my hair to help me stop doing it. Which
is it working?
I mean, in a way, it stops me from playing with my hair, like twizzling it around, which leads to pulling it out. But I still find my way at the moment. I try and put headscarves on and stuff when I'm out so that I can't reach certain parts.
Get to it, yeah.
It definitely has stopped me doing it as much as I was doing before.
Is it just hair and eyelashes, or do you pull out from anywhere else?
I do pull out hair on my arms, but it's not the same sort of thing. I find dead hairs on my arms, and so I sort of just like pinch the hair on my arms
and wait for something to fall
and then
off.
I sort of like feel it.
Because you have a ritual as well.
Yeah, it does. It is a ritual. For me, I think it's different with everyone that suffers it, but for me, I pull out a hair, and also it has to be the right one, because you have it's weird because it starts off with a little like tingle on your head, and then you sort of start pulling in that area. And when I pull a hair out, it's not successful unless it has one of those little gooey roots on the end, and I have to run my nails like up the hair to pull that root off, and then I discard the hair.
So I have almost the opposite thing, where I have a phobia, a mini phobia of hair off the body, and particularly the hair with the gooey end.
Yeah.
That's the bit that creeps me out the most.
I'm
not saying that you creep me out.
I know, it is weird.
The gooey end,
but the gooey end is like, I don't know what that signifies to me, but it's like it is the gold. And I like because it's cold. Have you ever felt it's cold, and if you like put it on your skin, you can feel the coldness of it. And sometimes I do that as well because I'm weird. So yeah, that's the general thing that I do. And what we wanted to talk to you about today is how it affects me and sex, because things like this affect all parts of your life. They affect your working life, they can affect your friendships and stuff, because I've had problems in the past where like even like relationships with your family and stuff, people try to stop you doing it, and your reaction to that is quite angry.
I suppose it depends on how they try and stop you.
Because it's such a hard thing to. It's weird because if you tell people about it and they don't know about it, they're just like, oh, just stop doing it.
Stop doing it. That's fine.
Like, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it's like, telling somebody to stop worrying. It's like they can't fucking help worrying. It just happens. You can't help it. You can try and manage it, though.
For some people it's completely related to stress and like anxieties. But for me, I cannot pin down why I do this. It's turned into an addiction for me. And I have been to CBT therapy for it when I was in my third year at uni, but I had loads of things going on then and it didn't help me at all because I just didn't have time to focus on it.
Yeah, and with CBT you really have to work at the exercises for it to work.
Yeah, so that didn't help me. But I feel like maybe if I did try again now, it might be a bit more beneficial. I have been looking into getting more therapy for it, because it's something that I just really need to stop doing. Because it's really self-destructive, because I end up getting like little bald patches, and when you see the bald patch you get such self-loathing.
Yeah, because you've done that.
Like feel gross. You feel like disgusted. What have you done? That's just not a good way to think about yourself.
No, not at all. Because you have to think about, like, why you're doing that, the root of that. It has to be to do with stress or...
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it's confidence related?
I really, like, me and my CBT therapist, we were trying to rack reasons up for, like, why it would be happening. And, like, I did have a little family trauma when I was 15 that could have triggered it initially through stress and for a coping mechanism to deal with that. But now I think I do it when I'm stressed and anxious, but I do it when I'm not stressed and anxious as well.
Yeah. I suppose it's because you said now it's an addiction. It's something that it's like a comfort.
Exactly.
Like a comfort blanket.
Yeah.
I suppose it's
hard because it's like, it's worse than giving up cigarettes because you don't grow cigarettes on your head. What I thought triggered it when I was 15, me and my CBT therapist decided that it was something to do with my mum going into hospital because she had a brain tumour. And obviously she nearly died, and this was incredibly stressful for all our family.
Yeah, imagine. It's your mum.
And yeah, I felt I didn't really ever like have a outlet where I really cried. I didn't really do anything like that, and I felt like I should. So I think all my bottled in kind of feelings towards it came out in that
hair.
They came out, like the hair came out instead. But yeah, so I pulled out all my eyelashes.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, do you do your eyebrows? Do you do your leg hair, your pubes even?
I do pull out my eyebrows, but it's more of the same thing that I do with my arm hair.
Find the dead
ones. I have pulled like pubes before, but it's not really the same thing.
I mean, have you had stages where you've stopped doing it for months, for years, for weeks?
Always kind of there. Even if it's just like one hair here and there, it's always kind of there. I don't feel like I've ever really stopped doing it. Yeah.
So how does your tara I can never say it. How does that affect you in sex, do you think?
I don't think it really affects my sex life.
Not directly.
But it does affect my confidence, which then affects sex. So it affects my self-confidence. So I feel less confident if I've had a bad phase of hair pulling. And it also does affect my relationships.
Yeah.
Because I don't keep it a secret from people I'm in a relationship with. I want them to sort of, because I tell people because I want them to stop me doing it in a way, so I want them to help me.
Well, it's good to be verbal about it. I imagine it can cause a lot of problems if you don't tell people and they don't, you know, they can't understand. And I guess, you know, you telling your boyfriend, you want him to embrace it as part of you, because it is part of you.
Yeah. It's really important you tell the person that you're in a relationship with, because it will benefit you, because they can help you. And I know it feels like no one can help you get out of this, because I mean that's what I feel, but at the same time, if they, like, what my boyfriend does is that he puts his hand like over my head where I'm doing it, which actually really helps.
Yeah. So it's almost
he'll just start massaging my head. So they're things that people you're in a relationship can actually help you. And I think that's really important.
And also, it's very tactile as well.
And it's always good to tell people things that are going on in your life, because you don't want to keep anything secret, really.
From an outsider's point of view, you know, I've never, if you'd never told me that you had tara, then I don't think I'd ever would have noticed. But when you've shown me the evidence of it, I've gone, oh yeah, but I think if you don't tell anybody, I mean, if there's
anyone that I ever tell is like, oh, I've not realised, noticed you doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's quite a private thing. It's something that you wouldn't realise people were doing it anyway. It's not like it's a Tourette's or something, or a tic.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, for anyone out there who's worried that people will see or people will notice, like I haven't noticed at all. Only when she mentioned, but I think you're right. You should tell people it. You get the support from that.
Yeah, I think with all those sort of problems as well, you do need support.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also, it's good to talk about things, because it helps you work things out in your own head by telling people about it, and then you kind of maybe see things from a different angle that you would have never really thought before. If you are like in a relationship or anything and you do tell people about it, like I found out that my boyfriend has researched about trichotillomania and ways that he can help me, which I just think really touched me actually, because I was like, he really does care and like support me.
If you know, your partner should want to go and research it off their own back to help you.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't do that, then they're too lazy and fucking kick them off. But it's the same with you. If you have a partner that suffers from the same thing, do your research, or suffers from anything, do your research and do the best you can to help them out. You're the only person that can be physically with them and that intimate, physically intimate.
I mean, it's such a physical thing, pulling out your hair, but I think the worst part of it is the feelings that go with it, because there's just like, you feel ashamed, you feel embarrassed, and it's just like that self-loathing that's just so destructive.
So destructive, yeah. I can imagine, like, you know, if you're going through your worst bit, having sex with somebody or sex with someone new.
Yeah, and you just
fucking daunting.
Yeah, it is. It's scary, especially when you're dating, because you don't want people to notice. Especially if you've got bald patches and stuff. You just think, oh, I can't go out like that, and it just makes you feel really on edge and on like it makes your nerves like like worse in a way.
Yeah, it's just another thing to worry about. You don't need that.
No,
especially when you're dating.
Exactly. Physically, like trichotillomania is about a slight pain. Because pulling out your hair, it's not like, it doesn't feel like anything, it's a feeling, and like that's the thing that you crave. And it is, to me, I wouldn't say like, people are like, oh, doesn't that hurt? But to me, it's not painful, it's like pleasurable, which I feel like it does link to the fact that I do enjoy like pain during sex. Okay. So I think that's a way that I can relate it to my sex life, because it kind of, I think having pain during sex is another way to release those sort of feelings for me. I do enjoy like getting bruises and like obviously like things like being spanked and like
being
held. Yeah, exactly.
You're not in control anymore.
Completely submissive. Because I guess it is kind of like losing control in the bedroom, being submissive. And
having someone else tell you what to do and control you is a bit like it's, you know, the not being in control is so much of a release that it's almost sexual.
Exactly. And obviously like with the hair pulling thing, I don't feel in control of that. But during sex, if someone can take control of me, then I don't feel like any urge to do anything like that, because it's completely like washed away.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's completely relevant to trichotillomania. I don't know if other sufferers feel the same. It'd be really great to hear what you think of that.
Yeah,
if you suffer from trichotillomania, do you enjoy pain during sex as well, or are you submissive or dominant?
And let us know if this video has been beneficial, because this is all, you know, this is what you've experienced. It's going to be completely different for everyone else.
Exactly.
But we'd love to hear from you. And also, you know, if you feel like you've gone through a drastic hair change, that can often be indicative of you being unhappy with something that's going on in your life. So, you know, someone who drastically makes a hair change is trying to change something about themselves that they either don't like, or trying to take control of something in their life. So if you all of a sudden feel like you need to cut off all your hair, have a look why you're doing that. And same if you want to dye your hair, again, drastic change. So just be aware. But also, you know, you can just do it because you wanna.
And also, like, sometimes I think the change is sometimes a really, really good thing.
Yeah,
really
it can
beneficial,
be very positive,
because it kind of washes away all those things that you were worrying about. You know, I think when I was younger, I used to have like a different hair like style every single I went to the hairdressers.
Really?
But I guess it's like when you're younger, you're trying to find yourself in a way. So you do change yourself quite a lot.
I suppose we'll just have to find out if the haircut really works.
Yeah. I'll get back to you and write a few notes on this video to let you know if it works for me.
Lastly, to add, again along the same kind of lines of trichotillomania, because I listening to Florence now, a lot of the stuff that I do with OCD is a lot of cleaning and positioning and sorting and moving. Which again is
same sort of ritual.
Yeah, same ritual. So there will be a video on OCD, or there might already be a video out on OCD. So have a look at that if that relates to you at all.
Yes. If you know someone that suffers from trichotillomania, or you suffer from it yourself, like, please get in contact. Like, I would really personally love to hear from you. It's not something that people really talk about at all. It's something that, it's like, I guess it's another one of those things, like people and sex people kind of keep it quiet.
Yeah, it's hush hush,
But,
really, isn't it?
Really, you shouldn't, and you should talk about your problems, and that's how you figure them out. And we can figure it out together, because I'm still suffering, and I'm really trying so hard to stop at the moment.
You'll do it.
I will.
We'll do it. It'll get there.
It's my New Year's resolution. Stop pulling out your hair, 2016.
Well, you've got to let us know if
Yes.
how the progress goes.
Will do. Anyway,